Okay, now we are going to try another method for solving quadratic equations, and this is called solving quadratic equations by factoring. What we're going to use when we factor is the zero product property. If we have two quantities that multiply and equal 0, that means either the first quantity equals 0 or the second quantity equals 0. If I look at number 1 here, we have two quantities, v minus 4 and v minus 7, and they are multiplying to equal 0. Well, if I have two quantities multiplying to equal 0, then either the first one had to equal 0 or the second quantity had to equal 0. That's the only way you could multiply two numbers or two quantities and get a solution of 0. So if I solve this first equation, v could equal 4 or v could equal 7. And if you check, when you plug in 4, you'll get 0, and when you plug in 7, you'll get 0. So now number 2, I have a quadratic trinomial, but I still want to solve it. And if I think about the zero product property, it's equal to 0. Zero product property, right? If I have something equal to 0, I can use this property. Well, how can I make number 2 look like number 1, where two quantities are multiplying to equal 0? Well, we can do that by factoring. I can break down this trinomial using guess and check, right? These first two spaces have to multiply to make t squared. They can be t and t. And these last two spaces need to multiply to make negative 54. And I'm going to choose strategically. I know that this is going to be positive 9 and negative 6. So now I have changed this problem into two quantities multiplying to equal 0. So zero product property says that either the first quantity equals 0 or the second quantity equals 0. If I solve my first equation by subtracting 9, t equals negative 9, or if I add 6, t equals 6. So if we get our equation equal to 0 and factor it, then we can use zero product property to solve for our two answers.